Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today the story begins with an aspiring knight named Ikki Kurogane, and he's watching the news. The lady reports that a princess named Stella has arrived in Japan and has been admitted to the Hagan Academy as the strongest knight. As Ikki hears this, he switches the television off and leaves for jogging. The scene shifts to a car surrounded by many news reporters, and inside the car, Princess Stella is present with the director of the academy. She thanks the director for the heartwarming welcome. Meanwhile, Ikki recalls a memory of his childhood when a man told him that he would lose only if he gave up on himself. Then he forged a sword out of his soul and introduced himself as one of the aspiring magical knights. Ikki then returns to his academy room, and when he enters, he sees a girl changing her clothes. Surprisingly, it's Princess Stella, who is shocked to see Ikki in the room. Ikki is also a bit confused initially, but then he claims that because he made a mistake, he will also take off his shirt to make the situation 50-50. Well, that's an amazing excuse. As he removes his shirt and shows his muscular body, Stella screams in the loudest way possible. Cut to the next scene in the director's office, where Ikki is presented in front of the director after the last incident. Ikki tries convincing her that it was an accident, but she doesn't forgive him. After that, Stella enters the office, and Ikki bows before her asking for forgiveness. Stella is angry and she orders him to take his life for committing such a huge mistake. Hearing this, Ikki immediately denies, saying that what he did was an accident and can't pay such a huge price just for mistakenly seeing a girl changing her clothes. Enraged, she prepares to use her powers against Ikki, and the director leaves the room. She moves forward, with Ikki stepping backward in fear. As Ikki is afraid, he tells Stella that he looked at her earlier because she's beautiful, and this compliment seems to calm her down. Then Ikki informs her that it was his room and he didn't know that Stella would be in there. Hearing this, the director enters and informs them both that they are roommates now, and that's why it caused a lot of confusion. Ikki and Stella express their confusion regarding being paired up in the same room. Stella is rank A, whereas Ikki belongs to rank F and has the title of the worst one, so pairing him up with the most superior and talented girl is a strange choice. The director tells him that there is nothing wrong with it, and Stella informs Ikki of 3 conditions if he wants to share the room with her. The first condition is that he won't open his eyes. Second, he won't talk to her. And thirdly, that he won't breathe. I bet the last one is the easiest. Ikki asks permission to breed, but Stella doesn't allow it. Their argument escalates, and the director suggests they should participate in a mock fight. Whoever is the winner will decide the rules of the room. To this offer, both are initially reluctant, but then Stella tells Ikki that she will fight him, and the winner will decide the rules for a lifetime. The loser will have to follow these rules and orders like a dog, to which Ikki agrees, and their mock fight gets scheduled. Before the fight, Stella brags about her talent and hard work. She also tells Ikki to stop thinking that he will become a magical knight. However, Ikki is not affected by her remarks. The director tells him a simple rule to win the fight: drain the opponent's physical strength. Then the fight begins, and Stella initially dominates Ikki with her flame sword. However, Ikki understands her technique and begins attacking her intelligently. Stella is confused about how a man belonging to a rank F can be this strong against her. She tries attacking him, but Ikki attacks her with his strongest move, draining her entire physical strength, and she falls. Ikki is then announced to be the winner, and he falls too. Stella is taken care of and the director meets her. Stella inquires about the reason behind putting such a strong man in the rank of F, to which the director tells her that the system doesn't have criteria to evaluate Ikki's strength. He keeps failing according to the system, but is very strong. She then tells Stella to stay with him and learn something from him. After that, Stella goes to her shared room and finds Ikki sleeping. She approaches him and tries touching his bare skin. During that, she gets an unknown euphoric feeling. After that, Ikki wakes up. She quickly stands up, and while doing so, she ends up hitting her head against the ceiling. After that, Ikki puts a bandage on her head, and then Stella apologizes for telling him to give up on his dream of becoming a magical knight. Ikki tells her that it's not a big deal, and then he asks if she's ready to follow his commands for a lifetime. Stella behaves like she forgot about the deal, but then agrees to follow his commands. Ikki orders her to stay with him in the same room with a smile, and they both shake hands. Later, a girl is shown heading toward Hagan Academy, where the opening ceremony is held. She says that her parents tried their best to harm the love of her life, but now she will give him the love he deserves. In the next scene, Ikki and Stella are shown tired and sweaty after jogging. Ikki offers her some water from some bottle that he was drinking from, and she reluctantly takes it as she thinks she will be kissing him indirectly. Stella asks him why he seems so happy today, to which he tells her that today, after 4 years, he will finally meet his sister. She is the same girl shown at the beginning, named Shizuku. Later, their class begins in the academy, and the teacher introduces herself to all the new students as Yuri, who looks pale with sleepy eyes. She tells them their selection matches will soon begin for the 7-Star Battle Festival, and only 6 students will be selected. Each of them will have to fight 10 matches, which makes 1 match in 3 days. As she ends her speech, she vomits, spills out blood, and then goes unconscious. Then she is found in a hospital bed, where Stella and Ikki are present beside her. Ikki asks her not to push herself too much, that her health is sacrificed. The teacher calms them down, telling them that she is trying to give her best, and she'll soon be fine. As Ikki and Stella leave the hospital bed, they are seen in the academy's corridor, where a girl runs towards Ikki and grabs him, putting his arm right between her 2 tennis balls. This makes him nervous, and she tells him she likes him after seeing him fight in the mock battle against Stella. Introducing herself as Kagami, she informs Ikki that she plans to open a newspaper club and wants Ikki to be on the front page. For this, she requests him for an interview. Hearing this, Stella starts going away angrily, and Ikki tries to stop her. Suddenly, Ikki's sister, Shizuku, arrives, and seeing her after 4 years, Ikki becomes happy. Surprisingly, Shizuku pushes Ikki backward to the wall and kisses his lips, shocking everyone. Kagami takes their picture for the newspaper, and Stella becomes even more angry, pulling Shizuku away from Ikki's lips. Shizuku tells her that she is his sister and can kiss him because it's just a form of affection, but Stella tells her that siblings don't kiss like that. Shizuku tells Stella to stay out of this, as she is unrelated to them. Stella informs her that she is the servant of Ikki, who is his master in their shared room. Say what? Shizuku becomes angry and takes out her sword, and Ikki moves forward to stop her. Stella also gears up for the fight, taking out her sword. Poor Ikki can't do anything, and eventually Stella and Shizuku fight, causing a great mess in the academy. The news reaches the director, and she punishes the girls by ordering them to clean all the ladies' washrooms, which are around 30 in number. As the director leaves them to clean, they both fight again, but with words this time and not swords. After their punishment is over, Shizuku orders Stella to stay away from her brother, to which Stella tells her that it is impossible as they are roommates. After a little argument, Shizuku tells Stella that her family treated Ikki as if he never existed, and then she leaves. Then Stella meets Ikki returning his water bottle and directly asks him why his family treated him like he never existed. Hearing this, Ikki is shocked, but he tells his sad story to Stella. As they walk, Ikki begins his story by introducing his family, Kurogane. The Kurogane family had many magical knights, but Ikki was the only one who didn't have magic. He was the weakest one, so he was treated as if he never existed. He didn't even have a seat at family festivals. One day, at a New Year party, he was being neglected and he couldn't take it anymore, so he left. Ikki had nowhere to go, and then he met a terrible storm on his way. The storm was so dangerous that the poor child thought he would die, though he didn't give up because the idea of dying in a storm frustrated him. Suddenly, a muscular figure named Ryoma Kurogane appeared before him, telling him that he will lose only if he gives up. Ryoma was his grandfather, and he led Japan to victory in the past war. This is what everyone knows, including Stella. Ikki tells her that he wants to be like his grandfather, but will have to be extra strong, which is why he wants to be a knight. Further, he reveals that in the past, the director of the academy used to belong to the Kurogane family, and his family didn't want him to excel. So they organized criteria that couldn't judge Ikki's abilities. However, now the director has changed, and he has some hopes this time. Hearing this, Stella shows her belief in Ikki with a smile. Now, Shizuku is shown telling her roommate that she wants to give every kind of love to her brother, who has been treated badly by her family. The roommate quietly listens, and then he tells her that she can't talk to him anymore, just like a girl talks to her elder sister. The scene shifts to Stella cooking something, while Ikki takes a hot bath. Suddenly, Stella enters the bathroom, shocking Ikki, who instantly hides his cucumber with his hands. He sees Stella almost naked in a bikini, with open eyes and mouth. Stella tells him that she will help him clean up, as she is his servant, to which Ikki shows his denial hesitantly. Stella shows her aggression, scaring him, and then he allows it. She begins cleaning him up, and Ikki, a gentleman, quietly looks at her beautiful apples bouncing as she moves. Stella goes to his back and asks if he likes them, to which he reluctantly replies in affirmation. While washing him, Stella's top accidentally opens, and her apple stems come in direct contact with Ikki's bare back. As he tries turning around, Stella pushes his head forward, not to look behind. Meanwhile, Ikki notices her bikini top has fallen to the ground. Shockingly, he asks Stella if she is completely naked, but she answers by screaming her lungs out. And that is it, folks. We've come to the end of our recap for today. We hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, we appreciate your support, and we look forward to bringing you more exciting content just like this in the future. Don't forget to like and subscribe for the next recaps, and take care.